the season is now over, yet a mere 4 points split the leaders in the GT standings. Today's venue is not a track known for its predictability, so today's race could swing the championship any number of ways. On top of that, this is the first endurance round of the season, and we'll be testing everyone's strategy chops. Old is new again. From Autodromo Nazionale di Monza, it's the Global SimRacing Channel's Round 5 coverage of the Season 2 V-TEC GTR Championship. Buongiorno and welcome to yet another V-TEC GTR Series broadcast way up in the booth. To bring you our bird's eye view, it's Ryan Walker, joined by yours truly, Bill Soupson. Streaming cyberspace into your place, our director, Joe Peak, with cameras located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by Dougie Beard. All right, with this track that has so much history as Monza does, sometimes it's hard to know where to start. So why don't we simply throw down to our track guide and give you all a quick introduction or maybe a refresher on what this place is all about.
Welcome to Monza. This track has a major place in racing history, not just for the legendary races, names, and cars that have been here, but because it was the third purpose-built car racing circuit in the world. It's often discussed and reverenced among fans, and especially by Italians who have nicknamed it the Temple of Speed. In fact, the Ferrari fans here are so famous for their devotion that they have been dubbed the Tifosi and never fail to show up in droves. While the real world offers only 3 feasible layouts to race on due to safety, in iRacing, the inclusion of the oval and the lack of safety concerns gives it a stunning 9 versions drivers can choose from. The modern GP layout is of course the most well-known, with its long history of hosting the Italian Grand Prix. But the oval and combined circuits allow those who thirst for more speed to satiate that craving with its insanely high banking. Indeed, incredible velocities are a staple of just about every version you can race here. Draft battles are not uncommon, no matter which car you're racing. But the inclusion of the chicanes makes using an outbraking maneuver a much more tricky way of overtaking. The circuit is notorious for drivers getting tangled up with each other while running side by side in these slow and cumbersome corners. In fact, one of the greatest dangers for drivers is the first few laps when the field is still clumped together and attempting to navigate them 2 and 3 wide. While there are other modern circuits with high-speed straights, the fact that Monza sits inside the Royal Park just north of Milan and is still tightly lined with trees heightens the sense of speed here. All in all, Monza is unmatched in its history, thrills, and great racing. Its significance in motorsports history and culture is sure to be unchallenged for years.
Makes you want to save up your money and take a trip to Italy. All right, and now let me reintroduce my boothmate. And I promise before the season is over, we're going to get them to yell, "They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom." It's going to be Ryan Walker. Ryan, I'm looking forward to calling this one with you. Any specific thoughts about Monza?
Monza, one of my favourite tracks in the iRacing service and also in real life. Just a little bit of history about the track. It hosts the Formula 1 Italian Grand Prix. It's also hosted the Bompian Series and also the European Le Mans Series and the Formula 3 as well. But today it will be hosting the V-TEC Series. So some details about the track. The track is 3.6 miles in length, or 5.79 kilometres if you prefer to use that. We will be using the Grand Prix layout, and it has 11 turns.
And a lot of on the throttle time here, right? This is a pretty darn fast track.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those tracks. Most of the time you're on a straight, you'll be flat out most of the time. So some of these cars, even though they're touring cars and you've got GT3 cars, it's a fixed setup. But most of the time you would be using low downforce just because you're on a straight line most of the time.
Let's talk the pit lane, because we do have pit stops today. How's pit entry, pit exit? Anything to worry about?
The pit entry you probably want to try and keep to the right if you're making a pit stop. Although you don't want to try and cut back in if there's a car behind you, just because they might cause some issues, maybe something like crashes or being spun out by accident. The pit exit, you probably want to just be a little bit careful on the exit, just because of some cars will be coming by you at high speed, and also the turn 1 and turn 2 is basically a chicane, so you'll be having to slow right down real quick.
And of course, talking about chicanes, we got them all here today. Redifilio, Ruggia, and of course Ascari, which is a kind of a double chicane, left, right, left. Let's go ahead and look at the point standings. We are right at the halfway mark right now. Let's start with the GT Pro standings. There he is, Tobias Burka. He covers the competition coming out of a sweep at Road Atlanta. How about Andrew Hitchings? Well, he can boast a sprint race win in the season opener at Barber. Neil Butler did it at Barber by being first to the checkered flag for the featured race. Sam Winton's best result was runner-up at Road Atlanta in the sprint race. And then there's Callum Wright. He did enough in the season opener to be able to round out the overlay. There is another championship that we're covering. We'll have Ryan talk about that one right now.
So yeah, the TCR Pro standings at the moment, it's been led by Miguel Freitas. Miguel basically has been the foreman in the TCR class for most of the season so far, and took a clean sweep at Road Atlanta. And second place, Marcus Walker has a win and a pair of second places, and he's been pretty much you could say the consistent man at the moment. Just keeping in touch with Miguel in the championship. And then further back in third place, you've got Philip Schill. That has been close, but no podium cigar for Philip Schill at the moment. He's had some fourth positions, but no podiums or a win so far this season. And then you've got in fourth place Stefan Slacker, who's just been there and thereabouts, just keeping it consistent, just doing his own thing, and did pretty well at Road Atlanta, picking up more points. And then in fifth place we've got Connor Paris, who's kind of had an up and down season so far. He's been on the pace, but he's not had any luck. But Connor was second behind Walton in both races at Road Atlanta, so maybe tonight he can get his season back on track and try and pick up some wins possibly.
Yeah, Paris would have had 2 wins at Road Atlanta if it wasn't for Walton. Walton seems to be really good. He had a bad opening round, the sprint race that cost him a few points, but everyone still considers maybe Marcus the man to beat. So we'll keep an eye on this, even though he sits 15 points back in the points. Should be fun to see how those the TCR's class plays out. Qualifying going on right now. It is open qualifying. They want to get in their times. Let's go ahead and see how it's playing out. And as you look at the low angle shot there from Dougie Beard, let's remind you, we're always picking up new viewers. So why don't we go over the race details real quick. I talked about it. This is round 5 of 10. Now, we only have 2 classes. We're going to drop the Porsches out of here. We have the Audi, the R8s, and then the Audi the RS3s. That's the TCR cars. The what is that? Touring car racing, I believe is what TCR stands for. We got fixed setups. That should be easy. We talked about the endurance. We're having a Martian hour here today. I think Martian hours are 65 minutes. That's how far we're racing. And if you get 10 incidents, you lose yourself 3 championship points. Would not be surprised if Monza slaps a few people with some -3s. This one, you can pick them up. There we go. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, absolutely. There's some places that you can get an off track if you're pressing too hard or just run a little bit wide. The 2 Lesbos, you can definitely get an off track if you go too wide. So some of these guys are going to have to be very, very careful tonight.
And we're multi-class racing. It will not be long before the GT Pro class gets all the way around the track, and we're looking at lap traffic. We may see that 3 or 4 times this race. There's quite a difference in speed, and with the short lap time that these guys are putting in. We'll see how many times that comes into effect. There have been some difficulties with the faster class negotiating the slower class right now. There we're looking at Sam Winton. One thing the drivers don't have to worry about, with only 1 race, we don't have to worry about the inversed regrid. 65 minutes start to finish with 1 pit stop. Should have a pretty large pit window. We figure that they can go about 45 minutes, so that makes your stop anywhere about somewhere between 20 and 50. Ryan, let's go ahead and take a look at the weather, see how that's going to play into effect here today. As you can see, it's a little bit cloudy there. What do you think?
Yeah, the track temperature and the air temperature as well. That's definitely going to it's definitely going to be a factor, especially with these TCR cars as well. The TCR cars being front wheel drive, the front tires will definitely take a pounding, you could say. So some of these drivers will maybe might try and look after the tires in the early stages of the race and just save them for the finish. But yeah, maybe some people will try and change tires in the pit stop. Maybe the front tires, at least, depending on how bad the tire wear is.
You look there, and you can see that Walton's sitting at the top of the sedan class. Did a little research into the TCR class to find exactly what's going on. A lot of technical stuff that was over my head, but the one thing that I did like was it had to be a sedan, a 4 or 5 door car. So I guess if you're racing, you put little Jimmy and Jackie in the back seat, put the wifey in shotgun, put a few bags of groceries in the trunk, and go racing. Boy, that would add some suspense to the racing if you had to race with your family in the car, wouldn't it? Don't break the eggs, the director says. Nice equal-sized field here today. We've got 7 in the faster class and 9 in the slower class. Sam Whitten, who sits at the top of the chart right now, looking to better that time by getting a tow. That car he is following is Alex Thake. Thake sitting 4th with a 149.2. Whitten about a half second faster. Now this is interesting. They're going to work their way down into Parabolica. And look at that. You can see the Whitten's not going to be able to do anything here as he's lifted. Let's talk about Parabolica. A lot of these cars are running high downforce, which means they can really dive it in deep into Parabolica. The car will really stick. Should be exciting. You want to know about the tow? I think there is a big tow. Look at this. As Winton is going to shoot underneath Thake right now. Negotiate his way around the slower car. That was Chris Howard who was slowing down. Tobias Burka takes the escape road. Didn't want any part of that. Burka sitting 3rd. One of the drivers we want to watch is Gertzitz. Jan Gertzitz. Coming straight at you. He's the slowest of the R8 drivers. .152.2 is what he's doing. He's about 4 seconds off what the pole sitter is right now. See if he can better that time. And I don't think that last lap counted. Always interested in the placement of the finish line at any track. Right here, that's a long front straightaway, but when he comes out of that final corner of Parabolica, you're going to get up on the start-finish line pretty darn quick. So if you're going to make a pass on the last lap, you probably want to do it going into 11. If you want to do it coming out of 11, you got to hustle. There's Sam Winton. The driver right behind him, Alex Thake. And just by judging from the paint schemes there, I would say those two drivers might be teammates. I think getting a little loose off the corner. Brian, I have zero experience driving a front-wheel race car. How much different is it than having it with the power in the back? Do you have to drive it differently? I would imagine.
Yeah, the TCR cars
Garrett's having
from.
trouble.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just.
go ahead. That was Gertz.
That's no problem. Yeah, the TCR cars. It's with it being front wheel drive. You've got to drive it differently. You've got to be more careful and look after the tires and not be too aggressive. But on the other hand, unlike a rear wheel drive car where it can just turn in straight away, you've got to use the rear end to hit. You've got to use the rear end to turn into the corners most of the time. So it's in a way it's a different driving style required.
Do you have to worry about tire wear on the rear tires? That's all they're really doing is following you around, and can they go away as well?
No, I think it's just the front tires you have to worry about most of the time, just because there's no power going on the rear wheels. It's just as you say, you're just pulling the rear tires along.
Well, when maybe iRacing brings in inclement weather, we get some snow on the iRacing platform. That's when you really see those front-wheel drive cars. Their strength. Nicholas Morelli. Trying to get into time. Sitting 5th right now. And I believe that's going to be the end of qualifying, as everyone was able to get in a time. 16 drivers all entered, and thankfully everyone got in a time. Just a few more seconds left as they start to wind down their cool down lap. Let's go to the grid right now, and we'll run down your starting order here. I'll take the GT class. Sam Winton going to be sitting on the front row. He's going to be inside of column right. Row 2, well, that has Tobias Burka. He leads in the points, sitting 3rd right now. Alex Thake outside of him. Row 3, that's Nicholas Morelli and Lucas Edelberg. And then the 7th driver, last in qualifying, several seconds off the pace, Jan Gerrits. Ryan, what do you got in the other class?
So in the TCRs, it's Marcus Walton taking the pole position. Alongside him in the front row is Miguel Freitas, and starting in 3rd place is Ethan Bass. Alongside him is Philip Schill, and then starting in 5th place is Chris M. Howard. Alongside him is Stefan Slacker in 6th. 7th place is Francis Castillo Romero in 7th. 8th place is Stephen McGarity, and rounding out the grid in 9th is Jeff Jacobson.
Looking at the starting grid, not a lot of surprises there. Maybe Tobias Burke a little farther down than we would have expected. There you see the final rows being laid out. Sam Whitten on the pole. He'll be in control. We'll have a pace lap. Won't be an entire pace lap as the drivers are lining up just before the final chicane. Ascari, the left-right-left chicane that leads you down into Parabolica. Marcus Walton will be in control of the sedans. Want to leave a little bit of space between the car classes, but not too much. You don't want those faster class coming up on you too quick. Beautiful Italian day as we look down from overhead. Shadows falling across the track. Glad you're with us here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Round 5. One race only today. Not a doubleheader that we saw in the first 2 venues. Round 1 and 2. And 3 and 4 were both doubleheaders. Today, just one race, 65 minutes with a pit stop. Ryan, lap traffic always a problem at any track. What do you think is going to be like here?
I don't think it's going to be as difficult as it has been in the rounds it has been so far this season. I think with it only being 2 classes now, I think it'll be a lot easier. But some corners are difficult to lap traffic in. I mean, the 2 Lesmos, for example, you can't really make a move on the slower plus cars. It's kind of, you've just got to be patient. So I think patience is going to be required today, but also on that one as well with the cold tyres, especially on the TCRs. I think they'll need to be careful in turn one, and then the first chicane and the second chicane. So yeah, just a bit of patience from these drivers and for the first few laps at least.
Of course, Barber has a lot of left, right, left combinations, and Road Atlanta has the S section that is always tough. They have to be patient on. Monza, a lot of long straights, chicane, long straight chicane. I think we should be a little easier job of it. Leaders working their way through Parabolica right now. We're about to go racing. They get them lined up. The Porsche pace car still out on track, waiting for lovely Medina Mendez to dive it in. She does. Yeah, they're at the chicken steak, cut around the cows. The horses are out of the barn. Sam Winton leads the stampede down into the first corner. They are clean. We'll stay with them all the way through Redifilio, then we'll jump back to the second class. Winton dives them in second place. That is right looking in there. They get single file. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, the leader goes off. He'll have a slowdown penalty. Ryan, what's going on in the other class?
Yeah, TCRs are off to a good start. There's no issues in the first chicane. Everyone's managed to make it through so far, and in second place it's Miguel Freitas and looks like Marcus Walton battling for second place at the moment. So Walton has lost the position at the start.
Cold tires are slow tires, and the victim was Sam Winton. He was up in front, but the car just wouldn't get wound up going into Redifilio. He had to blow the chicane, take the escape road, and now he finds himself at the back of the class. 65 minutes, plenty of time to get it back. He's got to be patient. That puts Callum Wright up in front. Tobias Burke in second with Nicholas Morelli in third. They come underneath the camera. Let's go back to Walton in 10th overall position. He is the leader. He's now working his way around Freitas.
Yeah, he's trying to make a move up the inside, and yeah, he's up the inside, up in second place. But Ethan Bass got a great start there as well. He managed to go from P3 up into the lead, so a good start for Ethan.
Yeah, our pole sitter dropped all the way back down to third, so Bass picks up the spot on Freitas, is now stalking. Walton picks up the spot on Freitas and is now stalking Bass as they head down into Parabolica. Let's stay with this one as it's a long train. Let's see what Walton does out of here if he gets a tow and tries to make a move into Redifilio. This is where the action is. Look at that white car. Boy, it has a great draw out of that right-hander. Sliding over its Bass, but he cannot get there. That's going to leave the inside open. Walton is going to have a shallow entry into Redifilio. Look for the up and under. It can happen here. Let's see if Walton can get it slowed up.
Yeah, it looks like he might be able to get the move done under braking. Yep, he gets the move done under braking up the inside, up into the lead, and Ethan Bass is down from first place into second place, and he's got a bit of a feisty Miguel Freitas behind him.
Schill had visions of maybe get into the top three as he made a stab at Freitas. Freitas closed the door. Howard back in fifth. Great racing going on here. The last car in the 6-car train, the caboose, that is Stefan Schlocker. Through Rogia they go. Walton now out in front. He was the pole sitter, can begin to stretch his legs a little bit. We continue to stay on this battle. Best battle on the track. You can see Walton pull away, not missing anything up front. It's still Wright and Burka. Fake and Morelli. None of those guys really within 7 or 8 car lengths of each other.
Yeah, Miguel Freitas is closed right up to the bootlet of Ethan Bass now, and I think it might just be a matter of time before Freitas gets by Bass as well. So maybe Ethan is just taking it easy at the moment, just letting his tyres get up to temperature. But behind him, he's got about 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5-car train starting to build up.
Yeah, it's a 65-minute race. You would think Freitas would say, I got plenty of time to make this pass, but the longer he waits behind Bass, the more that Walton is pulling away. So Freitas, who qualified third, would like to get this pass done, stay on the the coattails of Walton, who begins to stretch it out now. Almost got it up to a second. Let's stay on the battle for second here. Here comes Freitas. Bass, who already got passed by Walton already, leaves the inside open. Freitas says thank you very much. They're going to pull along door to door as they head into Rettifilio. And what is the preferred position here is no longer the preferred position. And a little bit of a tap. He's able to save it. Bass hangs on to second. Freitas falls all the way back behind Slocker.
Yeah, that was a bit not. Sorry, so.
No, go ahead. What do you see?
I was just about to say it was a bit just a bit of a lack of room between the two cars there. But I think if I was Bass, I would have just backed off and let Freitas go.
Yeah, I gotta say that Freitas didn't leave Bass a whole lot of room there, as the pass wasn't completed, but Freitas was heading to the apex, and Bass would have none of it. Let's go back to Ethan Bass right now, as he is under attack from Chris Howard. That incident allowed Philip Paschil to get around him. Now Paschil sits about 2 seconds behind Walton, who was enjoying all the carnage going on behind. Look at this. Here comes Bass trying to make it up. Look at the blue car of Chris Howard looking for somewhere to go.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with Ethan. He had a great start to the race. He was up into the lead, but he's dropped back to P3 now, and he could possibly drop back to P4 in a few moments' time. But maybe he's just like I said before, just settling down, just doing his own thing and letting the quicker guys go. But yeah, I'm not. Maybe he's just struggling a little bit with I was going to say setup, but it's a fixed setup. But maybe just struggling to get into a rhythm.
Bass back there fishing for a position. They come off a parabolica. Look at the run from Ethan on the inside. Paschil now drifting a little bit over to the left, trying to get a good angle. This time, Bass will have the inside position. It didn't work last time. It was on the outside with Freitas. Look at the toe that the two cars punch for Howard. He gets in there. All right, they come in. Paschil had a good view of what happened last time, and it almost happens again. It does happen again. Deja vu one more time. Bass loses the spot. Everybody goes by. Chris Howard says, thank you very much, boys.
Contact within twice within 2 laps. So yeah, I would say that would have to be on Ethan in that case. He just left no room, but he was in front, so he's entitled to defend his position in a way. But Ethan just seems to be struggling big time now. So yeah, he's dropping back quickly.
I don't like to place blame, but they kind of pay me to do it again. The car on the inside going in on the first part of the chicane is not leaving a lot of room for the car that has not been passed yet. So, well, Chris Howard had a good view of both incidents, and he finds himself now in second. Marcus Walton, happy to be away from all the chaos going on behind him, just picking him up and putting him down 3.3 seconds ahead of the guys that are chasing him. We're going to step away from the video, but we're going to do this old school, the way that I used to enjoy racing when I was a little boy. We're going to do it radio style. I'm going to take you up front to the fast class where it's column right up in front. He's going to head down into Rogia right now. He's got himself about a 2-second lead over Tobias Burka, your points leader. Burka is also comfortable. He's got about 3 seconds on Alex Thake. There is really not a lot of heat going on up here in this faster class. The best bottle on track would be for 4th in class. That would be between Sam Winton and Nicholas Morelli. Right now, those two drivers are working the back straight. And we'll come back. We're going to go check on the leaders in TCR. And when we talk about the leaders, we're going to leave Marcus Walton out of the mix. We're looking at Chris Howard. Now, Howard's not the fastest of these guys, is he, Ryan? But he just made up, he got this position by watching what was going on. Same with Stefan Slocker back there in 3rd.
Yeah, Stefan's just had a quiet start to the race, but he's up into the top 3 now. Chris Howard, he's not the quickest though, is it?
And they
Stefan's Stefan Slacker tries to make a move up the inside for P2 as they come into the two Lesmos.
It's like they're racing pacers out there. I mean, these cars seem really, really wide. They're having trouble getting both the sedans through a chicane side by side. The pass is made by Stefan Slacker racing in the Golden State Rottweiler Club machine. Good to see those letters on a car. Uh-oh. Here comes Howard looking at it. Not going to make it done as they go down into the scarring. Let's stay on this one.
As these guys come. Oh, sorry, is it?
No, go ahead.
To say as one of the GT3 cars is starting to come by now, just about to lap these guys, so hopefully he can do that in a safe way. But these guys are still. Oh, Jesus!
There we go. That is Jan Geertz. He's farther down in the fast class, working his way through. Do you remember Miguel Freitas? Well, he's back there now watching what's going on in front of him. The blue car is Howard. The car on the inside is Ethan Bass. Let's see if they've learned their lesson of how to go too wide through Rettifilio. Howard says, I've learned my lesson. I'm letting you go. Bass is going to take a twofer. All right, he's beside Slacker, and this time they managed to do it, but in doing so, they lose all their momentum. That opens the door for Howard now, who's on the inside. They work their way around the right-hander. Howard's on the outside as they go through Curva Grande. And that fourth car back there, the caboose, that is Miguel Freitas. Great racing going on up here.
Yeah, as these guys come up to the chicane, they're just about 3 wide, but as Bass tries to make a move on Slacker but can't get it done, and Slacker manages to hold that position as they come up to the two Lesmos yet again. By Watson in the background is Miguel Freitas, so if these three guys get caught up in front of him, he could pounce and pick up the pieces and pick up maybe two or three positions.
Slacker was smoother than a new jar of peanut butter as he worked his way through Rosia. Very smooth, right in front of Bass. Howard back there and Freitas watching. Again, we're putting a lot of attention down here, but this is where the action is. Not missing anything up front. We'll jump up there when the action demands it. This is too good to get away from. The red and white GSRC car of Slacker being chased by Ethan Bass in the black and red car. Howard now under attack from Freitas. Freitas wants to get up there. Same thing happening up front. It's going to be 2 by 2 like animals going on the arc as they head down into Parabolica. Bass gets the best of it. Freitas gets the best of it. Both passes made into Parabolica. But that's only half the story, Ryan, as they come out of Parabolica. Look at the momentum for Slacker.
Yeah, most of the guys just about ran wide on the exit of Parabolica, but yeah, Miguel Freitas has got the double slipstream of Bass and Slacker. Is he going to try and go 3 wide? You can't do anything about it as Slacker and Bass are in the way. But Slacker tries to make a move up the inside of Bass. 2 of them are going to go side by side. Can they both make it through? Yeah, they can. They're
getting better at that. This took them a couple times to practice. Slacker able to hang on. Bass in second. Freitas now. Remember, it was Freitas and Bass who had an issue in Rettifilio earlier. Freitas now making a move, taking a peek. The next corner is a left-hander. Freitas is going to be on the inside. Look at that. Bass surrenders. Freitas gets 1 as he wants 2. He tucks the nose in. He tries. He spies. But Slacker denies.
As Slacker defends his position into the first Lesmo, and Freitas is right behind him as well, and Bass is still trying to get back by Freitas, but in the background just watching at the moment is Chris Howard.
Sam Winton able to pick up a spot after his early mistake on lap number 1, able to get around Morelli. He now has 11 seconds to make it up to Alex Thake. Plenty of time to do it. And there you see look at that, a little bit of a mistake. There was some help. So Winton up into 4th. You can see the intervals on the tower there to your left. Let's go back to where the action is. All this happening behind Marcus Walton. While we were gone, Miguel Freitas was able to negotiate his way around Stefan Slocker. Are they pitting, or is he just hugging the inside? My goodness. Protecting the inside like an ambiotic sac was Miguel Freitas. Slocker peeking. Oh no, that's a shorter way through, but that'll cost you with time, boys. Somebody should have checked the track map.
Yeah, that's going to be a slowdown for Slacker and Freitas for sure. That was a... Yeah, I think Stefan's trying to slow down, try and not lose too much time, and he's letting Bass go and he's letting Howard go, and he's just about... I think he'll have to let Freitas go as well, possibly.
It'll be interesting to see who can serve their time the best there. Slacker able, I guess, to get this penalty served with Freitas right behind them, both of them in the same position they were going into it, but they've lost a lot of time. But again, just a tick under 50 minutes of racing to go. It won't be long till they get up to Bass and Howard. Chris Howard, the only one of the 4 drivers we've been watching who has been perfect so far.
Yeah, he's not been... Yeah, they're about to get lapped as well as the GT3 cars, or the Audis are starting. Audi GT3s are coming up to lap these guys at the moment.
Great, let's go ahead and follow the GT3 cars as they go through here. Give us a chance to get a little bit of attention. Right now, Wright is sandwiched between the 2 cars in front and the 2 cars behind. He's got us south a 2.7 second lead back to his nearest competition. He gets around Howard, and now he gets around Wright. So let's go ahead and focus back to the next car that's coming. That would be Tobias Burka. Leader in the points, sitting second in the standings right now. First on the hit list for him will be Freitas and Slocker. Ryan, we talked about Freitas and Slocker. Look how quickly they've made up the time behind Howard as they have to give up a little bit of room there and let Burka by. Burka zooms right by all 4 cars.
Yeah, it's just a case with Monza. If you can stay in the slipstream, you can close back up to the cars in front of you if you can stay with them. As Freitas is trying to go up the inside of Slacker again, and yeah, Slacker decides to back out of it into the first chicane.
There we go. This time, Freitas and Slocker managed to stay on the part of the pavement you're supposed to race on. No slowdown penalty for them, and it only took them a lap to get right behind Howard again. They can try it one more time. Next to come through, Alex Thake, sitting third in the GTEs. And I'm going to display my ignorance here. Help me out, Ryan. Is it GTEs or GT3s that car is?
The Audi R8 is a GT3 car. Don't worry, I've done the same mistake before when it first came out. So yeah, you're not alone in that club.
Nice work there by Alex Thake as he gets around the 4 cars. Interesting enough, from Slocker to Bass, they managed to stay in line. The train was not broken up. Next one will be our pole sitter, Sam Winton. Last time we checked on him, he was 11 seconds behind Thake. Well, he's knocked 3 seconds off of that as he sits 8 seconds back. Be a while before he gets up to those 4 guys battling for second. All right, let's go quickly to car number 128, Director, if we could. This is Edelberg. He just got around Romero. I've got a little bit of worry going on right here. This is Jeff Jacobson now, right behind Edelberg, dropped back 1 spot. Yeah, this does not look good. Let's look at car number 96, Romero. He's in the mix here. This is Jacobson going underneath them. And putting the toothpaste back in the jar is Nicholas Morelli. Whee! Morelli 6th in class, about 31 seconds behind Kellum Wright. So a nice little battle there between Romero and Jacobson. That seems to settle down. Let's go back up to Ethan Bass. Now Sam Winton has made his way through those 4 guys, so now it's Bass, Freitas, Howard, and Slocker. Remember, Freitas fell all the way back to last in this train when he took the shortcut through Redifilio. He's able to make up this time. And if he can finally get around Ethan Bass, maybe he can leave these guys behind. We'll see what happens. He's got a good run. I don't know if you want to try something into Ascari. Now you will see the toe come into effect as they work their way out of Ascari. Left, right, left. Look at the pull that Freitas is going to get. But he knows if he makes the move into Parabolica, he'll just lose it out of Parabolica. Let's see if he tries it. No. Now Howard will be in great position to make a pass, but Howard seems to be a very cautious driver. I don't expect him to make it 3 wide. Not the case for Slocker. And here to mix it up, here comes Edelberg. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lucas clears those guys. That maybe breaks the rhythm of Freitas, and he's going to wait. Here comes the dive from Howard. He's alongside of Freitas. He gets the blue car side by side. He gets them both up. Freitas waits. And look at the driver. That's Morelli back there who misses the braking point.
Yeah, I think Freitas just got caught out there, just back off too early, and yeah, I think Chris Howard just seen that Freitas was back off early and decided to take advantage of that and make a move up the inside for P2, and he managed to pull it off up into P2, and he's on his way to trying to chase the leader down. That is Marcus Walton. Yeah, not Walton. So yeah, Marcus Walton.
John Lennon said, "Life of what happens when you're making other plans." I think Freitas had plans to make a move on Bass, but it was Edelberg who came through and kind of chased everything up. And then when he had to wait a little bit, that gave Howard the opportunity to go through. Here comes Morelli, who took the shortcut through Redifilio. He's got that straightened out. He clears all those guys. Freitas and Slocker looking on. These 4 guys are putting on quite a show.
Yeah, fantastic racing with these guys at the moment. But these guys scrapping away is allowed Marcus Walton and the current leader in the TCR class just to gallop away at the moment and just build up a bit of a gap. And just looking from my point of view anyway, he's nowhere to be seen.
How about 13.7 seconds ahead of these guys? Yeah, he might be way out in front, but is he having as much fun? Now these 4 cars are single file as they work down the front straight. It will be a while before the next GT3 car gets there. Bump going on there. Howard giving a push. Director going to move you again. Let's go back to 96 real quick. Take a look at this one. 13th place overall. This is Romero being challenged by Jacobson. These guys are battling. Not nearly as intense up in front. And let's see if Jacobson is going to make a move here. Meanwhile, here comes Stephen Margaretti in the mix.
Oh, contact!
Yep. A little bit of a bump there from... that was Jacobson on Romero. Romero takes a hard hit. And McGarity is the guy who takes advantage of that. Thank you very much. Right on board here in the drone cam, looking up. My spider senses were tingling. I knew something was up there. Jacobson makes the punt. Romero goes into the wall. McGarity says, "Thank you, boys. I'll take both those spots," as he moves in to 6th position overall, or 6th in class. Get out your encyclopedia, look up the word punt. and you'll get a paragraph on that. Well, there's those four guys. We've been watching them the whole race. Coming right at it, Dougie Beard, low angle shot. Bass, Howard, Freitas, Slocker. I'm going to ask Bass, Howard, Freitas, and Slocker to behave themselves for a minute, as we are going to run through the other class just to show you what's going on there. Callum Wright up in front by almost 5 seconds. A little bit farther back, nothing going on. Tobias Burka, 5 seconds up to Wright, 10 seconds back to the next driver, which would be Alex Thake. Thake again all alone in third. The one we got to keep an eye on, he is coming, and we will watch this interval, Sam Winton. I believe it was Garrett's. I don't know if we want to get this one as Garrett's was last in the class, but Garrett's, there we go. Garrett's not having the day he hoped for. The car still looks clean. He just spun it. Well, all right. Depends on which side you're looking at, I guess. It's a pretty paint scheme anyway. It'll buff out. Oh my goodness, let's look at Alex Thake. Thought he was safe, but now it's only 2 seconds back. Here comes Sam Winton. Remember, he was your pole sitter. And Ryan, he overshot the Redifilio.
Apparently there's been some issues for Nicholas Morelli as well.
In Parabolica. Oh, the car just gets ugly on him here. Did he get the right sides up on the curbing? Boy, it just lets go.
Yeah, that's a bit of a strange one. It could be he might have just carried too much corner speed and just lost the rear end in the middle and just unfortunately ran wide and spun. But he managed to keep going again, luckily. But I'm still keeping my eye on the battle for second place in the TCRs at the moment. And Ethan Bass is still under attack from Chris Howard, Miguel Freitas, and Stefan Slacker. And also, it won't be too long before the TCR pit window will open as well.
Yeah, two things we're watching: that battle, and then what's going on here with Winton and to see if he can run these guys down. Heidelberg, we were watching there for a minute. Whoops, he got it off in the sand. Did he hit anything? I don't think so. All right, let's go to third in the GT3s here. This is Alex Thake. The interval now down to 0.8 of a second. I want to talk about what happened on lap number 1. We saw lots of drivers take the exit road through Redifilio, and it didn't seem to hurt them so badly. Unfortunately, when Winton did it, he did it on lap 1. And Ryan, if you're going to get a slowdown penalty, you don't want to get it on lap 1 because, well, iRacing can be kind of cranky.
Yeah, the slowdowns on lap 1, from my experience, especially around Monza, if you get a slowdown, then the time it takes ages to clear the slowdown. So lap 1 is definitely not the one that you want to get a slowdown on. So, but it's just it's an easy thing to do around Monza, especially if you take too much curb in the. Ooh,
there's a mistake from Thake. Thake gets it back on there, but the pressure from his teammate forced Alex to go off track. He'll get a slowdown penalty. I think the car is okay, unless going over those sleeping policemen have damaged the undercarriage. But now Sam Winton up into third. Pit stop time. Bass, Howard, Slocker. Now, there's 36 minutes of racing to go. But what we're being told is that this class will have 2 stops. Interesting enough, Miguel Freitas has decided to stay out and run a little bit longer. Remember, Miguel Freitas qualified second. He has the best pace out of all those drivers he was racing with, Bass, Howard, and Slocker. I wonder if Freitas is thinking, I'm going to stay out here on these nice warm tires all by myself, put in a hot lap or 2 while you guys are struggling with your tires getting back up to temperature. And by the time it's all done, I'll be long gone and you guys can play with yourself, and I'll see if I can run down Marcus Walton.
And also, we just heard that Stefan Slacker has got a speeding penalty as well. So yeah, unfortunately for Steph, he was having a great race up until that point.
Lesson learned, haste makes waste, as Stefan Slacker will now be out of the mix. So with Freitas staying out long, he might leave these guys. Slacker with the penalty, that leaves Bass and Howard to race together. And Bass is out about 2 seconds ahead of Howard, as we have more stops now. This is Edelberg. Now, we believe this is in the window for these cars. The GT3s are 1 stop, and they have a large pit window.
As Miguel Freitas dives into the pits from the lead, so I wonder if the strategy will work for Miguel. The good thing is he won't have to take as much fuel as the guys that pitted the previous lap, so this could work for him. But I'm keeping an eye on to see where the rest of the other guys are, like Walton and Bass and Howard.
Interesting. Freitas takes tires. We told nobody would take tires. Walton has made his stop. He is out of Parabolica, going across the start-finish line now. We expected him to comfortably get there. Freitas' car goes down. The next car I want to watch is Bass. Bass is out of Parabolica. This one is going to be close. I think Freitas is going to be long gone here. It's a long pit exit, though.
Bass is coming across the line. This is going to be close into turn 1, but I think Freitas should easily be in front of Bass as they head into the first chicane.
Well, he's out on track first, but with a head of momentum, here comes Ethan. Oh, these guys have familiarity into Parabolica before, into Redifilio before. Morelli, can we get this one, Director? I believe Morelli just got spun right in front of Gertz. Let me make sure this is current. And it is. I don't think Garrett's really, this is his fault. I think Morelli gets a little loose in front of, and Garrett's. Yeah. All right, next I want to go back to Freitas. And I want to see what new tires are like in relationship to older tires. Freitas has fresh tires, just came out of the pits about a half a lap. Ethan Bass has nice, comfy, warm tires, has a lap on them. They've been racing on them all race. Doesn't seem to be hurting them much, though. Burka is in, pitting from second position. Our pole sitter who had lap 1 problem, Sam Winton, he comes in. Where is Column Wright, you might ask? Well, he's going into Parabolica right now. Wright has already made his stop. Winton and Burka wait impatiently in the pits as Column Wright blows by. Burka rolls. Winton sits. Here comes Thake. This is a long stop for Winton. Something is amiss with Sam Winton. Either he got a speeding penalty come. This seems even longer than a speeding penalty. Something. Oh, it was tires. Okay. Why do tires take so long, you may ask? Now, Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the class where you have to do it fuel and tires one at a time, right?
Yeah, you have to do fuel and tires separate. You can't do them at the same time. So yeah, the fuel will get done first, and then the tires will get done second, I think. As far as I'm aware. So yeah, there's a little bit of a time loss in that.
So if you're new to iRacing and you wonder why Miguel Freitas was able to take tires so quickly, that car class allows you to do both at the same time. You can fuel while you're changing tires. Not the case for the Audi R8s. I cannot imagine that new tires are going to be that much of an advantage for Sam Winton. Sometimes, Ryan, it's not always strategy. Sometimes it's just plain old making a boo-boo and forgetting to uncheck boxes.
Yeah, absolutely. I've done that before. I forgot to untick tires, for example, and then been wondering why the pit stop takes so long, and then I've looked at the tires being ticked, and I'm like, yep, my bad. So easy mistake to make, but I'm just looking up at the front end of the TCRs as well, and I just noticed that Marcus Walton is under a little bit of pressure from Philip Schill.
Now let's make sure that Schill has made his stop, and my timing of scoring is everybody has, so something is amiss there. Looking at the stop times, Walton was in his box for 29 seconds. Philip in there for 12. Now we expect this to be a two-stop race. Perhaps Schill is doing his splash now, and he'll have to come in soon. Maybe he took a really short stop there on this one. Didn't fill it up all the way.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm not sure I would have done that. I would have tried to basically put as much fuel in as possible, try and go as long as possible, and then maybe do a splash at the end. But I'm not sure. I'm not the best person when it comes to strategy. Yeah. So yeah, my idea of strategy will just be thrown out the window possibly.
He's a glutton for screen time. Gotten a little screen time, gotten a little attention here from the commentators. It's Philip Schill up now into second position. And if Godzilla attacks from Japan down into Italy and the race is called, he'll get a second position spot as we've gone halfway. Again, that Godzilla feature coming in the next build, I hear. All the pit stops are done. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm looking at the battle for P3 as well between Freitas and Bass, and I was kind of expecting Freitas to pull away with the new tyres as well, but yeah, Bass is certainly keeping up with him on the old tyres, so there doesn't seem to be much of a difference between new tyres and old tyres.
So, we were in that four-car battle that we watched for the first half of the race between Freitas, Bass, Howard, and Slocker. Freitas stayed out longer, ran one lap. Bass came in a lap earlier. They pretty much are together. Now, as you look back there at Bass, that car that's working on him, that's Alex Thanks in the GT3s. He makes the pass, third in class right now for Thank. Just to follow up, Howard, who was in the mix, he's about 6 seconds behind Bass. And then what about Slocker, you may ask? Well, he's fallen well off. Stephen McGarity is between him and Howard. Slocker had that slowdown penalty. But it won't be long till Stefan gets to Stephen. right on board. With the driver with an F in his name trying to catch the driver with a V in his first name. Love that camera shot. Personally, nothing makes me go slower than when I can see the prey. Got to be careful not to get hungry and drive in deep and overdrive the corner, overdrive the car. Nice job from Slocker. We talked about Philip Schill, how well he was doing, and that he was going to short fill on the middle stint. Well, here he is. Rumpelstiltskin has come for the baby. It's a pay me now, pay me later type thing. He took the short stop. Now he does his final stop.
Yeah, it's an interesting strategy that he's done, but if he's pitting now, he should be able to make it to the end without any problems. So he should have enough fuel to get to the finish, and it'll be interesting to see what the likes of Walton and Freitas and Bass do now. If they'll maybe pit again within maybe the next 5 laps or so.
Just a tick under 25 minutes of racing to go. Things are settling down, so let's catch our breath and maybe run through the entire field, as we only have 16 drivers here. Give everyone a little screen time. Let's start up top, Director. Callum Wright started outside of row 1. After the mistake from Sam Winton, he capitalized, got to the front, and ever since then, it has been good night, nurse. 2.7 seconds up. I'm sorry, 7.2 seconds up on Tobias Burke. Let's go back and look at Tobias right now. Not really a lot of pressure around him. The only thing that could hurt Burka is if he had trouble with some of the slower classes. He races in second. We watched Alex Fake. Again, he is all by himself. And thanks to the mistake that happened to Sam Winton, I think third place, that final podium spot, 24-second lead with 23 minutes of racing to go is probably his to lose. Sam Winton not having the race he wanted. In fourth. Don't know if he's going to have enough time to change that spot. 3 more drivers in this class. Lucas Edelberg picked up a spot from where he started. Nicholas Morelli, he's had a few incidents. He's still out there. And then finally, Jan Gersitz. Let's quickly look at Slocker. I believe he has caught McGarity now. Yep, they are side by side. In fact, there's the pass being made. So Slocker now up into the spot. We'll take a look at this one as he took a while to run down McGarity. We knew it was coming. What are you looking at here, Ryan?
So yeah, just looking at the replay to see what happened, and it looks like Stefan got the run heading down to the chicane, and he went to go around the outside as McGarity defended the inside and managed to get round the outside into the first chicane and get the move done under braking, and yeah, that was a pretty nice move.
I'll give McGarity credit, though. He was not going to get passed on the right side. He was all the way over there. Going to make Slocker earn it. And as we look at it, he's not really driving away from McGarity, so that could be fun. Keep an eye on that. All right, we ran through the GT3s. Let's go ahead and show you what's going on in the this class here, which is called, thank you, the TCRs. I want to make sure I get that one right. Touring Car Racing. Let's go ahead and look at Marcus Walton. His lead, 12.8 seconds. It was down to about 2 seconds when Schill did a little pit stop maneuver, but that really was kind of a faux lead. Miguel Freitas runs in second, but He had his hands full with Ethan Bass, but now we figured Freitas was fast enough. He begins to pull away from Bass. Bass sits in third. Interesting enough, though, after the pit stop from Schill, look at this, Ryan. We didn't hear much from him, but look, Schill is now ahead of McGarity and Howard and Slocker. So his pit strategy seems to be working, assuming he has enough to get to the end.
Yeah, it seems that I don't, as far as I'm aware, I don't think Schill took tyres. I think it was just a fuel only again. So yeah, it seems to be paying off his strategy by not taking tyres at both stops. So up there into P4 at the moment, having a quiet race, and yeah, if he finishes the race, it should be more points in the bag.
Now, I expected to see Stefan Slocker next, but for some reason, Stefan is in the pit lane. Why is that? I don't know, Stefan. Second stop. All right. Thank you, Director. I forgot these guys have 2 to make. So he surrenders that position to McGarity that he just got. And I'll be honest with you, in the GSRC commentator's handbook, it says don't do a run through the field if there's another pit stop to be made. Read the book, Soup. Romero sitting behind all those guys, 13th overall, 6th in class. Then we drop back. I guess we're going to look at Chris Howard. Now take a look at my timing and scoring. I'm assuming Howard has made his final stop, and he has. And then the last car out there, Jeff Jacobson. Oh, let's go to Sam Winton. You never know when things are going to go your way and things are not going to go your way. Right as we spot going into Rosia, he spins the car. Boy, it has not been the race that he expected.
Yeah, the replay is up on the screen now. It seems to be a bit of an up and down race for Sam. It's kind of, he's kept out of trouble, I guess, but he's had some little mistakes.
Luckily, I think he had enough cushion that he's not going to lose a spot. He's now 7 seconds up on Lucas Edelberg, but I don't know if Sam's going to be able to do that again and hang on to the spot. Morelli in. Garrett's in. Now, these guys are making a second stop, so is it possible that all the classes need to stop twice? No. That can't be. I think there might have been an issue with these guys. Remember, Morelli had an issue early on in the race as well. He might have made an earlier stop, and this might actually be his first stop. I mean, his first stop was out of the window. "17 minutes of racing to go. Round number 5. Our director found it. There it is. There's Morelli. Boy, some nice detective work from our director, Joe Peak. Well done. Let's go to Marcus Walton right now. Just because Lucas Edelberg is behind him, and you never know. This is how you can lose a race when this happens. Walton has got to try to make that car skinny as possible. Edelberg gets by without a problem. Been a relatively clean race. I guess the story of the race would be pole sitter Sam Winton's issues. Marcus Walton, who has just been the class of the field, the class of the class for Marcus Walton.
Yeah, he's been pretty much on his own for most of the race in the class, and with Ethan Bass and Chris Howard and Miguel Freitas and Stefan Slacker battling away in the early stages of the race. It allowed Marcus a chance to pull away and build up a gap, and which he managed to hold on to until the pit stops. And he's just been in a bit of a no man's land at the moment.
We'll have some interesting when these pit stops come in to see how Freitas and Bass pair in relationship to Schill, who's made all of his stops. Try to get a relative there. Between Freitas and Schill, about 48 seconds. Freitas, who races in second and has a stop to do, and Schill, who still needs to, who can go the distance. Seems like with 14 minutes of racing to go, you should be able to get in and out within 48 seconds. You're just looking at a splash of fuel from Freitas and Bass.
Bass and Freitas should be in the pits within, I'm not sure, but they should be in the pits in a few laps, I think. Probably, I'm guessing, around about the 10-minute remaining mark. So maybe in about two or three laps' time.
I think another driver we have to give credit to is car number 157, Director. Can we look at Stephen McGarity? Remember, McGarity was in that fight with Slocker. Well, Slocker has had issues. He's well down the order. Chris Howard, he's ahead of him. But, of course, McGarity still needs to make a stop. So we'll see if McGarity can get in and out, how many positions he loses. I think he's only going to lose one to Chris Howard. I think he should be able to get out in front of all the guys like Romero and Jacobson. Good race. Nice job, Stephen. All right. Miguel Freitas pitting from second position in the TCRs. Bass stays out, so Bass will inherit second place. This is the opposite how it played out for the first pit stop, where Bass came in first and Freitas stayed out.
This is splash of fuel for Freitas, and he's on his way again. So I think we should be expecting Ethan Bass in the pits this lap.
Philip Schill fans, sorry, he's not going to be able to get to Freitas. Schill just out of Parabolica right now. Freitas done and dusted. We wait for Bass to make his stop and McGarity to make his stop. Chris Howard making a third stop. This is not good news for him. It is good news for McGarity, though. Not sure what happened to Howard, but another driver who had hopes to pick up a position on McGarity, that's not going to happen. Howard rolls. And I believe he's going to get out before Romero. Here comes Romero. Yeah, now this is fun. Let's go ahead and look at these guys. The white car is Walton. That's the class leader. There's Romero. He goes a lap down here in class. And he was trying to chase Howard, who took a third stop. Howard should have the pace to drive away from Romero. Walton will have to be careful as Ryan passing slower class, mixed class traffic is one thing. Class passing somebody who's in the same car as you, and that's something different. And that's what Walton will have to deal with Howard here. Assuming with 10 minutes to go that he even makes it an issue.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Sometimes, or some people rather, are try and make it hard and try and stay on the same lap, but other people are more cooperative, you could say, and they make it easier and just let you go and just decide to go a lap down, because there's no point trying to fight the leader in the same class as you. It's just yeah, in a way, it's kind of disrespectful in a way, but most of the time, most of my experience when I've been lapping the traffic in the same class, I've not had any issues.
This is a fun battle we're looking at now. It's not for position, but it is fun. Remember, these guys were fighting on track before? We're looking at Ethan Bass and Stefan Slocker. Slocker in the trailing car. They are separated by, well, a lap. Bass, remember, is on a different agenda. Obviously, Slocker is good to go. Bass has yet to make his final stop. He's hustling because he'd like to get to Freitas. Freitas has made his stop. Our leader comes in. It is 24 seconds as we see our leader come in from Bass to Freitas. Well, Bass is in right now. I would imagine Freitas should be somewhere just coming out of Parabolica. This will be for position. That's going to be a tall order for Bass to get rolling in time. There goes Miguel, and Ethan waits. Does he have to worry about Schill? Oh, Schill just crossing the finish line now. I think Bass should slot into third. Comfortably. So now the pit stops are done. But Ryan, how about this? Philip Schill sitting in fourth. He was nowhere to be seen when all those guys were playing around. Bass, Freitas, Howard, and Slocker. He was not in the picture. He did a little alternative pit strategy, and he's ahead of all those guys. Well, Bass and Freitas he's not, but certainly got up into the fourth position. Nice job from Schill.
Yeah, I think he just decided just to use a different strategy and try and get himself up there, further up in the class. Like you say, he's nowhere to be seen. Really, he wasn't really. We never really mentioned him in the early stages of the race in that battle, but he just using a different strategy to get himself further up the field in class. And yeah, he's doing well up in fourth position at the moment. And yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to catch Bass or Miguel Freitas or Ethan Bass. So it's just a case of bringing it home and just getting a good result.
The road less traveled. Let's look at car number 31. This is Chris Howard. Why we're talking about him? Because there's a car going by him is what I want to talk about. There's Tobias Burka, your point leader in the GT3s, running second right now behind Callum Wright on the track. It'll be another good points day for Tobias. We were talking with Stefan Slocker before the race, and Ryan, he didn't sound so good.
Yeah, absolutely. Just Stefan said that he's been struggling with the flu, and just he's not been feeling himself this week so far, and yeah, not being his best, like you mentioned. He's just tried to do the best that he could, and unfortunately, he's just decided to call it a day. Which is not always a bad thing. I mean, your health comes first over a race sometimes. So I respect his decision for calling it quits.
If you viewers would have been able to listen to how he sounded, you'd understand why he's not racing. Almost like he was a different species. All right, McGarity making his final stop. In fact, he is coming out. Now here comes Howard. And Howard rolls by. I believe that is for position. McGarity is out on track. Here comes Howard. He's got a full head of steam. McGarity scooting up in his chair, trying to get that car to go. The blue car of Howard is there first. He gets it wound up. And with 5 minutes of racing to go, we got ourselves a little battle there.
Yeah, Howard managed to get that car slowed down just in time for the chicane. He missed the apex slightly in the chicane, but managed to get it stopped. And yeah, it looks like these guys will be battling for. Well, we'll be on in a battle for with just under 5 minutes remaining.
Look out of the rear view window of Howard, you can see McGarity get that car really loose. Best battle on the track. We can afford to watch it for a while. Been jumping around this race, give you a lot of action. Sometimes it's nice just to sit and watch the racing, feel the racing. Dougie Beard special there, that camera shot that come right at you. Look at Howard blow by. I'm not sure if McGarity has the legs to stay with Howard. Who is in 5th in class. Again, I don't mean to be Chicken Little saying the sky is falling. The one thing I do worry about a little bit is Philip Schill in 4th in class. Does he have enough fuel to get to the end? He did that alternative pit strategy, it really came from nowhere to get up there. He has not spent as much time in his box as the rest of the field. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt that he has enough fuel to go to the end.
Yeah, he should be fine possibly. He might have done some lifting and coasting just to try and save some fuel. Anyone that's wondering what lift and coast is basically when you lift early for a corner and just let the car roll through instead of getting on the power straight away. That's basically the basic idea, or the basic idea of lifting, coasting, saving fuel.
That's my normal driving style. Maybe the problem, I'm so slow. 16 entries, 14 still out on track. We've lost Stefan Slacker, we've lost Nicholas Morelli. Jeff Jacobson running well down the order, making his final stop. Got to within 3 minutes of the end. This is his 3rd stop. Lucas Eidelberg having to come in for a last-minute splash. Won't lose a position as Morelli and Gersitz are well down the order. He's going to bring it home with the top 5. Boy, and now with 2 minutes to race, this is where if you're a leader, you just want to have clear track ahead of you. You don't want to have to deal with any slower or faster traffic. Wright and Walton just looking to bring it home. Each with comfortable leads in their class. There's Callum Wright. 4 seconds up. But, you know, you got to give a tip of the hat as we look at Wright. Tobias Burka made him keep it honest. Burka was just 4 seconds back. 3.5 seconds back now. Close enough, Ryan, where if Wright were to make a mistake, he'd lose the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. About 4 seconds is really not enough to keep the lead. So, like you say, if Wright made a mistake, Berker would be there to take up the lead and happily take that position.
And there he is. Heading down into Ascari. Left, right, left on the gas. Head to the sweeping right-hander that is Parabolica. He'll be getting the white flag this time by. As we are at the halfway point, this will help Wright in the championship hunt. Talk about keeping the pressure on Tobias Burka keeping the pressure on Wright on the track. Well, this will make Wright keeping the pressure on Burka in the championship standings. Cross the line beneath the white flag. Final lap for Colin Wright. Where is Marcus Walton, you may say? Well, he'll have to go all the way around and then all the way around again as Walton is just going through the first of the two. We're going to ride on board with Colin Wright. Ryan was talking about lifting and coasting. Oh, let's put a little drama in this one. Let's stay with him. Let's watch and see if he's trying to nurse this thing all the way around, if he has fuel issues. We're hearing a lot of lifting and coasting from him. That was Philip Schill that he just made his way around. Oh, about a corner ahead of him is Marcus Walton, the leader of the TCRs. Look at this. Alex Thake has had to make a stop. He was racing in third. I don't think it's going to cost him a position, but when we talked about what Colin Wright was doing, lifting, I think our director may have found something there. He may be very close trying to nurse this thing around. The interval, 2.3 seconds from Wright back to Burke. Wright only has Parabolica to make it through. He's not home yet. He is sputtering. The start-finish line is ahead. Here comes Burka. Burka gets him. Your winner for round 5. Stealing it will be Tobias Burka. Limping his way across is Callum Wright, who gets credit for second. Fake is now in 4th position. I believe Winton is going to get 3rd, assuming he gets there. We have to make sure we find Marcus Walton. Walton still has a lap to go. Let's focus our attention on Sam Winton. What a race for Sammy. Started on the pole, blew the first chicane, had a horrible slowdown penalty, spun the car again, managed to get the car all the way around as he brings it home for a podium position, assuming he has enough fuel. Scooting up in his chair, and he glides it across in 3rd. Alex Thake, the wisest of them all, came in for that extra stop. He'll have to take 4th. Our leader in the other class, in the TCRs, it is Marcus Walton. We don't expect Marcus to have any fuel issues. He's got just 1 corner to go. Freitas about 5.5 seconds back. Like we said, keeping him honest. The final corner for Marcus Walton. This will be his 3rd win of the season. Nothing between him and the gingham flag as he rolls underneath it. The win goes to Marcus Walton here at Monza. Miguel Freitas gets 2nd. Looking for Bass. Bass is already done on the lap before, so that means everybody has finished up. What an exciting race as Tobias Burka steals one from Callum Wright, who had it the entire race. Oh, let's take a short break. Mama, cover my eyes. I've seen enough to know I've seen too much. We're going to take a short break. We will come back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. from Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. Welcome back to GSRC's Round 5 coverage of the Season 2 V-TEC GTR Championship. My dad always told me, son, if you're the prettiest girl at the dance, you don't need expensive shoes. What's very confusing for him to tell that to his son, but what he meant was that if you're the fastest car out there racing, you don't need to play around with fancy pit stops. Callum Wright had this race. It was his to win. He did not need to short fill, but he did. His fanciness cost him the race as he ran out of fuel coming out of Parabolica. Flying by was Tobias Burka, who gets the win. Callum Wright settles for second. Sam Winton, who had an eventful day, will get third. Alex Thake settles for fourth with Lucas Edelberg in fifth position in class. I guess I'll finish out this sheet here. Ryan, we got Marcus Walton. Now, see, he learned the lesson that my dad was talking about. He didn't fool around with some strange pit strategy. He just played it straight. He gets the win. Miguel Freitas takes second. Ethan Bass is third. A guy who did try on some fancy shoes with Philip Schill, and he gets himself a fourth position for doing it. Rounding out that overlay is Chris Howard in fifth. Ryan, you get the rest of them.
So finishing in the sixth was Stephen McGarity. Seventh was Francis Castillo Romero. Eighth place was Jeff Jacobson. And unfortunately, having to retire from the race due to illness was Stefan Slacker. And we hope he gets well soon.
There you go. What an exciting race it was. We look up there to see if we have anyone that we can talk to. We can. What do I get, Director? Am I getting Burka? All right, we get to talk to the winner here in the R8 class, the GT3s. Congratulations, Tobias Burka. Boy, sometimes Christmas comes early, huh? Tobias, you got a copy? Oh, we don't have him. Maybe we can bring him back in. We'll give him a second. Tobias, we'll come in. We'll go ahead. Ryan, why don't you go ahead and talk to Marcus Walton, then we'll give Burka a chance to get his mic straightened out.
Marcus Walton taking the win in the TCR class in the race today. Marcus, you seem to be in a bit of a battle in the early stages of the race, and then once the other guys behind you started battling away, it allowed you to gallop away, build up a bit of a gap, and from there on in, you managed to hold on and take the win. How was that race for you?
Good evening. Yes, it was a quiet race, but I feel happy I won because I felt it was like the last chance in the championship to stay behind Miguel. I don't know right now the points, but I know. But I knew it was important, this race, and I'm quite happy I won.
Yeah, what was the plan coming into this race? So is it just try and finish in the top three, or just was it to try try and do as well as possible to help in the championship?
Well, I wanted to win. From the situation I saw before the race, I felt I had to win because only 3 or 2 races left, I don't know, and he was quite ahead already, Miguel, and so good, it worked out.
Good stuff. Just before we let you go, is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to or any thanks to?
Well, as always, to Stefan for organizing this and to my rivals, always for a clean race, and it's great.
Good to hear. Well, thanks for joining us, Marcus, and congratulations again on the win. We'll look forward to seeing you on chat next time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. See you.
Marcus Walton, the race winner today in the TCRs. Let's go ahead and try one more time with Tobias Burka, see if we can get him. Tobias, do you have a copy?
Yeah.
Hey, we got you this time. Yay!
Now it's working.
We got you. During the race, Ryan and I both up in the booth said, Tobias is keeping Callum honest. He's close enough that if Wright has an issue, Burka is there to capitalize. Sure enough, you're able to steal this one.
Well, I must say it was my strategy from the beginning. I knew I wanted to make it on one pit stop, and in order to make it, I had to save a real lot. And honestly, I could have gone another lap. I was hoping that the race would be one lap more, because then Calum would have then I was certain that he was going out of fuel, but so I didn't know, and it had to wait till the last corner. But yeah, I'm happy that my plan worked out perfectly.
So in other words, as a fan, if I'm comparing lap times between you and Wright, it's really not a fair comparison because you weren't racing at 100%. You were saving.
Absolutely, every lap. I started really in lap 2 or 3 or something, really early because otherwise you wouldn't gonna make it. I knew it because with the new tires now, the car's going to consume a lot more fuel, and to manage that you had to save. And honestly, I was thinking he did it too because the gap stayed the same then more or less, and I thought he would save too, but yeah, probably not enough.
Talk about those new tires. You saw them really come into effect on lap number 1 where the pole sitter, Sam Winton, couldn't get him woed up, and he shot the chicane that you had to fill. Well, there's one guy I don't have to beat now.
Well, yeah, I just saw he went to the left, and then I knew he had to slow down, and slow down in the first lap is absolutely deadly in every track, especially here. And yeah, then I just focused on staying behind Caleb and getting a little bit of his draft, but then I had to start fuel, and I was really focused on myself. I had to go my own pace, and if someone would have been faster, then I would have let him go anyway because I wanted to make it on that one pit stop.
Congratulations on a strategy well played. It was fun to watch. You're halfway point. You're sitting at the top of the points. Good luck on the second half of the season.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Tobias Burka, your winner today in the GT3 class. What an exciting race it was. We got to thank the people that made this possible. How about Stefan Slocker? You heard Tobias thank him. How about Stefan organizes the series, and he's contracted with GSRC to broadcast, so we thank him for that. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen momentarily that we use to bring cyberspace into your place. How about that original music that alerts your ears, your eyes that you're watching a GSRC broadcast? That comes courtesy of June Lalonde. See the screen for contact information there. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. Hey, while you're here, if you haven't done so yet, become a GSRC YouTube subscriber by hitting that big red button. And if you're looking for a gift for the person who has everything, go check out our merchandise store at gsrc.store.com. You can see the link at Store Envy. Oh, Store Envy, got it. You can see the link there in the bottom of the description. Go ahead and check it out. You know, the GSRC Toaster Cozy is no longer available, but there's lots of good stuff for you to choose from. On screen now are some of the upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. The V-TEC GTR Championship returns in 2 weeks, March 19th for round 6 and 7. Remember, it's a doubleheader. Where are we going? Belgium, baby. Spa. 1:45 p.m. Eastern Time. GSRC will be there. We hope that you join us. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that would be Ryan, Joyan, and Dougie, I'd like to thank all of you for watching as Tobias Burka gets the win along with Marcus Walton here at Monza. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.